सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिके. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 6, verse number 35. Chapter title is Creation of the Universal Form. एतत्क्षत भगवद् दैव कर्मात्मा रूपिणः कः श्रद्धयादुपकर्मतुं योगमाया बलदयम्. एतत्क्षत भगवतो दैव कर्मात्मा रूपिणः कः श्रद्धयादुपकर्मतुं योगमाया बलदयम्. Etat, this, Khyatah, O Vidura, Bhagavata, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Daiva Karma Atma Rupinaha, of the gigantic form of transcendental work, time and nature, Kah, who else, Sradhayat, can aspire, Upakarmatum, measure in totality, Yogamaya, internal potency, Bala Udayam, manifested by the strength of. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O Vidura, who can estimate or measure the transcendental time, work, and potency of the gigantic form manifested by the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The froggish philosophers may go on with their mental speculation on the subject matter of the Virat, the gigantic form exhibited by the Yogamaya internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but factually no one can measure such a vast exhibition. In Bhagavad Gita 11.16, Arjuna, the recognized devotee of the Lord, says, Aneka Bahudara Bhaktra Netram Pashyami Tvam Sarvato Nantarupam Nantam Na Madhyam Na Punas Tvadim Pashyami Vishweshwara Vishwarupa. O my Lord, O gigantic Vishwarupa form, O Master of the universe, I see innumerable hands, bodies, mouths, and eyes in all directions, and they're all unlimited. I cannot find the end of this manifestation, nor do I see the middle, nor the beginning. Bhagavad Gita was specifically spoken to Arjuna, and the Vishwarupa was exhibited before him at his request. He was awarded the specific eyes to see this Vishwarupa. Yet, although he was able to see the Lord's innumerable hands and mouths, he was unable to see him completely. Since Arjuna was unable to estimate the length and breadth of the potency of the Lord, who else would be able to do so? One may only indulge in miscalculation like the frog philosopher. The frog philosopher wanted to estimate the length and breadth of the Pacific Ocean by his experience of a well 3 cubic feet large, and thus he began to puff himself up to become as big as the Pacific Ocean. But at last he burst and died by this process. This story is applicable to the mental philosophers who, under the illusion of the Lord's external energy, indulge in estimating the length and breadth of the Supreme Lord. The best path is to become a cool-headed, submissive devotee of the Lord. Try to hear about the Lord from the bona fide spiritual master and thus serve the Lord in transcendental loving service, as suggested in the previous verse. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshumirtam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Sopadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamanam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatvitam Tam Sajipam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Manchakalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Namo Namah जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री प्रसादी गौर भक्त वृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nilachala Nivasaya, Nityaya Paramatmane, Balabhadraya Subhadrabhyam, Jagannathaya Te Nama. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome you today for the one wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam class. The subject matter is so beautiful, and by all assembled devotees' mercy and their cooperation, we all are able to release this beautiful subject matter every day. I'm not qualified to glorify and speak about this subject matter with my very little knowledge, but with everybody's mercy and blessings, I'll try to glorify the subject matter based on my knowledge. Any offenses, any mistakes I create during my next 20-25 minutes, I'm asking forgiveness for that in advance. So here we see that Maitreya Muni, like Vidura submissively inquiring to Maitreya Muni about Lord Krishna. So Maitreya Muni entire last two chapters were saying that he is talking to Vidurji for the benefit of us about innumerable energies and innumerable potencies of Lord Krishna. So he is describing previously about Virat Roop, like what is Virat Roop and how different demigods are coming out of him, how the material creation happened, Krishna created material creation from the Mahatattva, all the 24 elements, then all how all the Varnasrama started from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how the sun and moon are Krishna's eyes, how everything is coming from Krishna. Like he is explaining, Maitreya is explaining everything so nicely to Viduraji. Maitreya explained around quite a good amount of chapter we have seen, but at the end, what is Maitreya concluding? Maitreya is concluding, who can estimate or measure the transcendental time, what potency of the gigantic form manifested by the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And then later he's asking, who can do so? Who can do so? Why he's asking who can do so again to Vidura? That means no one can do it. It is just impossible. No one can even imagine and speculate with our mundane eyes how vast and how immeasurable Krishna's internal and transcendental potencies are. This is a statement, for Maitreya's statement, this final concluding statement is, we should meditate and it should help us in understanding the unlimited nature of Supreme Personality Godhead. Because generally we use our intelligence or sensual power to estimate or measure whatever comes in our way. Suppose we'll hear from something from somebody that this this intelligent person did not do it this correctly. Again, immediately we won't be knowing. We are not present there. We don't know anything from a bona fide source. We'll use our so-called our fake intelligence we're going to use, and we'll try to estimate. This might have happened because of this might have happened. This had come. So we don't know anything, but we try to speak. Then slowly, what happened? That becomes a term. Now we should understand here that it is very difficult to understand the and the energies of the Lord. If we see that Lord Krishna came in different incarnations, like fish is an aquatic animal. Lord Krishna came as a incarnation as a Matsya avatar. He came. Then he came with the incarnation of a boar. If we think the boar incarnation, it's very difficult to imagine. God, who is supreme, who is so beautiful, standing in a Samsundar form. Like if we see in our altar, Lord Samsundar is standing so beautifully. Lord Jagannath is so beautiful. Lord Gauranga is so beautiful. The standing in the two-hand form is so beautiful. But the same Krishna, same Samsundar, he's coming in the form of a boar. If we see if we see an ordinary boar, he's a filthy creature. In a mud, in a dirty place, he'll be hanging around. But why God holds this form? This puzzles our brain. God will come sometimes as a Narsingha, like recently Narsingha Chaturdasi happened. God will sometimes come with a Narsingha form. Why this form? Like sometimes the Mayavadis or the speculators, he will, they just they try to understand, but they don't understand from a bona fide source. Then the conclusion that what they will give, everything is in imagination. This could be a history, this could be a myth, it's a mythology. Like for us, it is we understand the reason behind this is the absolute truth. Like whatever Krishna does is for a purpose. But for them, it becomes a myth or it becomes a history. Like they don't realize the authenticity and the truth of this. So for them, everything is an illusion. So just if you see there is a magic show is going on, the magician does some tricks to show some to show some interesting tricks. Like suppose he will hold a flower, he will hold a cotton ball or something, tissue paper he will hold. Then he will show, say, "Hey, you see it's a tissue paper." Then ultimately he will put something inside and do some magical mantra, mantra. He will magical things he will tell. Then he will put his hand inside something, and out of that, what comes out? 100 flowers will be coming out. Whoever is watching over there, they're all mesmerized. They're clapping and they are very very excited. They, yeah, the magician did some trick. So we are all are watching very very keenly. So all are very excited. But then at the end they see, yeah, from the magic this has happened. The same thing happened about the mental speculators. They also think that this illusory energy can present God in form of a lion or in form of a fish or in form of a bird. But still in the audience there will be some intelligent person will be sitting. They will be thinking, yeah, definitely there is something behind it. So that something behind is the trick, that something behind it they will be thinking. Basically, then our transcendentalists, they go beyond this illusory energy and this Maya concept. They understood that the behind, what is behind it? The behind thing is the absolute truth. So whoever intelligent people, they don't go by the outside thing, they will go by the factually. So the transcendentalist, why the transcendentalists? Because they see the transcendental thing in the transcendental eyes factually. And they go by the disciplic succession, like Tadbiti Pranipatena. So they go everything by approaching a bona fide spiritual master and then inquire from him submissively and render servicing to him. Then they acquire the true knowledge. We always approach to the same kind of parampara system, to the self-realized soul, to understand the knowledge. Otherwise, we cannot understand it clearly, the absolute truth. So here we see that when how a transcendentalist is not under the concept of the illusion, why he is able to see the absolute truth, because from the statement of the Arjuna we see that Arjuna is saying here that Krishna, you are so vast. I am not able to. He is seeing everything, and he about the Virat true form. Then Krishna, Arjuna is concluding that you are so fast. So I am not able to see where it is starting, where is the middle, and where is the end. He is not able to see. So Arjuna is able to realize that Krishna is so vast that he is not able to see where he is starting, where he is beginning, and where he is ending. Why he is able to conclude this? Because he is a pure devotee and he is not under the influence of illusion. What a devotee sees generally is beyond illusion. So what Arjuna could see was beyond illusion. That's why Arjuna could understand it. Now, when is a non-devotee, he is always under the shadow of the illusion. So he does not see the true picture. Now, yesterday we had nice celebration of Nrsimha Chaturdasi. So this is a good example of Hiranyakashipu and Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj. Hiranyakashipu was a demon king, as we all know. Like, he was very very powerful. He was very potent. He got a boon from Brahma that nobody can kill him. No human form can kill him. No demon can kill him, and like, he has so many categories, and he cannot be killed by any weapon. He cannot be killed neither in the earth nor in the air, like that he had, and then by not by any weapon, and not neither in the evening, neither in the daylight, like that. He has so many conditions that he cannot be killed in this, 4 or 5 categories. He cannot be killed. So he thought that he is immortal, and he was basically not able to comprehend that, yeah, somebody can be more powerful and then more has more potency than him. So he's by divine arrangement and Krishna's mercy, Prahlad was born as a son of Hiranyakashipu. But by birth, Prahlad Maharaj was a very, he was a very devoted to Lord Krishna. He was always chanting on Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudeva. He was always seeing the presence of Lord Vishnu everywhere. Where Hiranyakashipu was a enemy to Lord Vishnu, where Prahlad Maharaj, by simply understanding the concept of absolute truth, when he was in the womb of his mother from Narad Muni, he was a born devotee. Like, when he was on the womb of his mother, Kayadhu, then he was, Narad Muni gave mother Kayadhu and Prahlad shelter. So when he was in the womb, so that time itself he had about the glories of Vishnu and how Vishnu can protect everywhere, protect him. Then he from Narad Muni actually educated him formally, and he had his better understanding about the absolute truth. Then later on, when he had gone back to his home to stay with Hiranyakashipu, his father. Then by looking at Prahlad's attitude, Hiranyakashipu is very very angry, and he has sent him to his Gurukul. In his Gurukul also, when the false education was given to Prahlad Maharaj, like very nicely explained everybody about Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that made Hiranyakashipu very very furious. He was thinking that I have acquired so much gold, I have conquered the entire world, so I am more powerful, and nobody can be powerful than me. So he challenged Prahlad. Then he challenged Prahlad about it. He gave him so much trouble. So many anarthas happened to Prahlad Maharaj, but every time Lord Krishna protected Prahlad. He tried to burn Prahlad through the Holika. Then he tried to throw him from mountain. Then serpents. So what not he has done to kill Prahlad. But finally, he got so much agitated, and he tried to challenge to Prahlad Maharaj that 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 he is actually God, and Lord Vishnu is not God. So then Prahlad Maharaj told no, explained him the real concept of absolute truth and what is God. Then he was so furious. He demanded in his challenge that if the God is inside this pillar, he tried hitting the pillar, as we all know. Then from that, Lord Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Vishnu, Sri Krishna, he came in the form of half man and half lion. And if you see that he literally, killed and he destroyed Hiranyakashipu just to give shelter to Prahlad and give faith and to establish his potency. So from here we can understand that Hiranyakashipu was kind of in a kind of a mental speculation mode that yeah, I'm the most powerful. He was kind of ignorance. Basically, he's in the mode of ignorance. He's not understanding. But Prahlad Maharaj, by the association of real sadhu and guru Narad Muni, he is understanding who is the absolute truth. Then Nrsimha Bhagwan protected Prahlad Maharaj and Maharaj. Then from this we can see that here Prabhupada explains sometimes this Nrsimha, this a lion is there, right? So the lion is very very protective towards his own cub. Like a baby lion will be there if the mother lion is there. If mother lion sees that a predator is coming, he goes extra mile here to protect the babies, her own cubs. But same lion is very very ferocious towards others, whoever is whoever is creating harm to his her kid. So similarly, Lord Nrsimha Bhagwan is very very protective about about his own devotees, and simultaneously he's very very ferocious. He's very very ferocious, and he can go to any extent to protect his devotees when they are challenged by uh, the demons like Hiranyakashipu. So again in the purport, Prabhupada has explained about different philosophies, how different philosophies we can be applied, and how they cannot still establish the truth. The real truth is absolute truth, but sometimes due to logic and by limited knowledge, we try to misinterpret it. So often Prabhupada in his lectures about mention about Kupamanduka Naya, or the Dr. Frog's philosophy. Like there will be there was a frog inside the well, in a three feet well, and he was the alone frog over there, and he was enjoying the well. He was kind of a lord of the well, and he will be eating the small insects and enjoying the water and enjoying everything over there. Then all of a sudden, a frog from a Pacific Ocean will come, and he saws that he will hear about the frog from the Pacific Ocean from others, and he'll challenge others that yeah, the other frog, the Pacific Ocean, what is so great about the Pacific Ocean? Is that is that bigger than this well? Is the other frog bigger than this? He kind of challenged. Then he will try to expand by his hand, by his like little hands. Is the other frog in the Pacific Ocean that big? Is Pacific Ocean this size big? He will just show his hand to little bit wide. A frog, how much he can wide? He'll just expand, and he'll try to challenge. By doing this, the frog actually at the end, he cannot prove it, and he will eventually Prabhupada said that eventually he will burst out. So this frog has an experience of a 3 feet well. 3 feet well. Basically, he has very limited knowledge. He cannot understand how vast is the Pacific knowledge. So if he tries to understand by the speculation, generally he fails. Like this mental speculation is very dangerous. So I was hearing a lecture from Gaur Govind Maharaj about this mental speculation. Once there was a washerman, he has a donkey. This donkey used to give him so much, like help. So he used to carry all his loads, and he was helping him in cleaning and washing the clothes of the king. So once the donkey died, the donkey's name was Sunanda Gandharva. So out of very affection, the washerman decided to do the tarpana, and he went to nearby holy river, and he did tarpan, and he took out all his hair as kind of an oblation and ritual. So there was a Brahmin who was there, and King's Brahmin was there, who was a priest in the king's court. So he asked, why did you do this, and what happened? He told, don't you know Sunanda Gandharva died? So this Brahmin now heard that, yeah, maybe he thought, was he very knowledgeable, we should know him. The washerman told, yeah, he was very good. Then the king's priest thought that maybe I don't know, and I should not say that I don't know. Then people think that I'm fool. So he immediately did tarpan, and he cut his hair, and he went to minister's house. The minister asked him, "Why did you cut your hair? What happened?" Then he told, "Don't you know? Sunanda Gandharva died." The minister also was in a amazed. Who is Sunanda Gandharva? I should not ask him. The person will think that I don't know. Then he also did the same thing. Then he went to king's court. The king asked him the next day, "Hey, what happened? Why did you cut your hair?" Now, Maharaj, don't you know Sunanda Gandharva passed away? So king also thought, I should not tell in front of the minister that I don't know Sunanda Gandharva. So he also did the same thing, and he went to his palace. The queen was little intelligent. So queen, when he saw the king, he asked, "What happened? Why you have cut your hair?" Then king replied, Sunanda Gandharva passed away. He was a celestial person, so that's why I have done this. Just now, let's see how it has transformed from the washerman to the priest, then to the minister, then to the king. So since queen was intelligent, he asked him, from where did you listen? Who told you? Like, and generally, he wanted to go beyond it. So the king responded, the minister did. Queen called for the minister. The minister told that washerman told me. So the washerman was called. The priest, and then washerman was called. Washerman told that, Sunanda Gandharva died, passed away, that's why I did it. Now, when did he pass away? Next day he passed away, so that's why. The king asked the queen, and then the queen asked washerman, hey, can you tell me who is Sunanda Gandharva? And how do you know him? The washerman started crying, and he told queen what to say. Sunanda Gandharva was very dear to me. I was totally dependent on him. He was my own soul, bread earning member for me. He glorified. Then queen finally got, had everything. But who is Sunanda Gandharva? Now he was the donkey of me, on whom, you have seen him, queen. I used to carry all the dirty clothes on him, and I to your palace, and I used to take it, and I used to wash and give it back to you. So now the king and the minister and the Brahmin, they understood, they did everything just for a mere donkey, not for any celestial heavenly being, or not for anybody else. So this mental speculation, how it misinterprets, we can understand from this example. Similarly, because of the mental speculation, sometimes our real tattvas are kind of misinterpreted, and everything gets hidden. It gets so much hidden that this impersonal philosophy sometimes comes, and they tell that everything is Brahma. Impersonal philosophers, they tell, I am Brahma, you are Brahma, and everything is Brahma, everyone is God. So that the problem then starts. Then we started to lord over the entire lord over the material nature, and we get bonded by that. So in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has told very clearly, Manushyanam sahasresu kaschid yatati siddhaye. That means out of many million men, one may try to make his life successful, understanding the absolute truth. Now there is another aspect also. Sometimes we have seen that by the debate. We might have seen now recently this election happened. There was in India also it was happening, and here also it was happening. There's so many debates goes on. One person tried to defeat another person tried to defeat whoever, then in the debate at the end somebody will win. But often we have seen in the debate, whoever wins, is not right always. So similarly, like if we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, like there was a debate between the Sanskrit scholars that during that time, during Mahaprabhu's time. So how the Sanskrit was going on? Basically, the Brahmins used to learn Sanskrit, and they used to learn Sanskrit. They used to master in that. They used to go to Gurukul and master in that. The grammatical rules and definitions of Sanskrit language are very, very intricate, and they are the gateway to education to understand the real Vedic knowledge. So this then like when we understand everything, there will be a debate between two scholars. So how the debate will happen? The debate will happen in a rigorous way. The subject matters will be examined in terms of 5 categories, which will include the purpose of the original text, then the reason of it, then what are the examples they can give on the various facts, then whether or not a clear understanding is given to it or not, then where you are able to interpret and moving it forward or not. Then you have to give some supportive text from the spiritual context. Now Nimai, when childhood, he was born from a Brahmin family, so he was immediately mastered about these grammatical rules. So he became so much, he became so much potent, and he must become so much knowledgeable that people used to call him for a debate in the nearby areas, and Nimai used to defeat everybody in the grammatical word juggleries and everything. So people very affectionately called him Nimai Pandit, which means a greatly learned person. Often, sometimes in Sanskrit language, there will be word jugglery. They will have one statement, then they will try to prove that this statement is right from one particular based on the one particular word. Then immediately they'll twist the word, twist the verse, twist the verb, and they'll prove that it is wrong. The concept is wrong. So that's why it was going on. So then there was the entry of Keshav Kashmiri into to Navadvip. So Keshav Kashmiri was from Kashmir. He was a very knowledgeable Pandit, and he was basically Digvijay Pandit, and he mastered about the Sanskrit verses and about the logic, about the philosophy, about the how to do tarka, and he has a vast understanding about the subject matter. So he has, by the time he has defeated everybody, and he has heard that in Navadvip is a place of knowledge. So he has come here to test his knowledge so that he can defeat others, and so that he will become like more powerful, and his glories will be and glories and fame will be all around. So then Keshav Kashmiri and Chaitanya little Nimai's meeting was arranged, and whoever was in Navadvip, they arranged a meeting. So in the river, near to the river of the Ganges, Keshav Kashmiri and Nimai sat down. So Keshav Kashmiri was a very much devoted to Goddess Saraswati. So Goddess Saraswati used to give him all kind of knowledges when Keshav Kashmiri used to inquire. So Keshav Kashmiri and Nimai's meeting was arranged. Now Nimai requested Keshav Kashmiri submissively that can you glorify about the Mother Ganges? So Keshav Kashmiri started glorifying about Mother Ganges in 100 verses. So Nimai listened all the 100 verses, and he remembered everything in one time. So then he asked Keshav Kashmiri to recite 64th verse from that. So Keshav Kashmiri recited the 64th verse, and from that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that this 64th verse you have recited, I can tell very well that there are so many mistakes in this verse. I can find 5 different faults, and 5 gross faults I can find it, and then 5 ornamental things I can find it from here. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this verse in terms of improper composition, and this was contradictory meaning and how it was redundant. Then he next praised about the 5 good analogies taking from the Shastra, and he tried to once he's tried to by the word juggler, he tries to confuse Keshav Kashmiri in a different way, from his 5 gross defects. Then same time he will try to glorify the subject matter with the 5 different ornamental establishments from this verse. So after this, Keshav Kashmiri was defeated, and he realized that he surrendered to Nimai. Then in the evening, he was and then later on Nimai's glory was spread more because he has defeated Keshav Kashmiri. And the evening he was just praying to Goddess Saraswati. Goddess Saraswati came in his mind and revealed him that Nimai is basically the absolute truth, and he is the Krishna himself. So later on, Keshav Kashmiri also surrendered to to little Nimai. So basically here we see that knowledge in itself is only of value if it helps us to develop the qualities of a pure devotee. So how to acquire this knowledge? Basically what we discussed earlier is basically the concept of the Tadvithi Pranipatena. By listening submissively from a bona fide sampradaya and inquiring submissively to the spiritual master. And we alone cannot do it. Like if we see that even if Krishna will reveal himself to us, we won't see it unless we have the Krupa Dushti of Krishna. Like in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, so many so many important persons are standing. Pitama Bhisma is standing, Drona is standing, everybody is there, but nobody is able to see the Virat Guru. Who is able to see? Only Arjuna is able to see. Why he is able to see? Because Krishna is giving him spiritual vision. He has the mercy. Krishna himself decided. So Arjuna asked submissively that I am not able to understand, and Krishna is submissively explaining. Krishna is really explaining him, and Krishna is giving him the spiritual vision to see see this Virat Roop. So same way also we should approach submissively to our spiritual master, because our spiritual master is a representative of Lord Krishna, and we should inquire submissively and we should do devotional service so that all the anarthas will go from us and we will be able to get similar kind of vision to understand and see the absolute truth. With this, I would like to end this class here. If any realizations or anything, maybe we can discuss or write in the Nityam Bhagavata Seva group.